Chapter 7. Sports. Sport is very important in England, and people enjoy going to big sports events or watching them on TV and playing sport in their free time. Some of the most popular world sports, football, rugby, cricket, golf and tennis, first started in England, and people from all around the world come here for some of its great sports events. In 2012, the Olympics were held in England, and millions of people from around the world came to London to watch the many different sports of the Olympics and the Paralympics. New sports stadiums were built, including the main Olympic Stadium, a basketball arena and a velo park for cycling. It was the first time the Olympics had come to England since 1948 and was a very exciting year for the country. The most popular sport in England is football, and there are professional matches every week from August until May. Many thousands of people also play in parks, at local clubs, and at schools or universities. Football has been played in England for hundreds of years, and the best football teams, for example Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal, are famous around the world. The most important day in England's football calendar is the Football Association FA Cup Final Day in May at London's Wembley Stadium. Many people believe that England's best ever footballer was Bobby Charlton, who started playing for Manchester United in 1953 and scored 249 goals over the next 20 years. In 1958, Charlton was in an aeroplane with the Manchester United team when it crashed, killing 8 players. Bobby Charlton was not killed in the crash, and he went on to play in the 1966 World Cup, which England won. It was the first and only time that England has won the World Cup.
To be fair, referees have the best seat. You can see all the action, all the emotions, you can see everything, man. I was, black Somali girl, visibly Muslim, so therefore I would be targeted, and they would be, they would be like, okay, if JJ gets into that environment, she will get bullied, people will never accept her, people will never take her serious, so let's just direct her in another profession.
Cricket was first played in England in the 16th century, and by the 18th century it had become the country's national sport. Every summer, teams from other countries play 5-day test matches against the English national team. Cricket is also played on village greens, small fields in villages around the country in the summer months. Because cricket matches are so long, a new kind of match called the 2020 was introduced in 2003. 2020 matches are only 3 hours long, so people can watch them in one day. Rugby is another sport that began in England, and it is named after the school where it was first played, Rugby School in Warwickshire. Rugby is like football, but players can hold the ball and tackle each other, pull each other to the ground to get the ball. Rugby is not as popular as football, but after England won the World Cup in 2003, more people began to watch and play the sport. In England, there are two kinds of rugby, each very different: rugby league and rugby union. For 2 weeks around the end of June, England becomes tennis mad. This is the time of the Wimbledon Championships, the most famous tennis tournament in the world. Few people watch tennis on TV for the rest of the year, but during Wimbledon, matches are shown on TV every afternoon and evening. England's most famous tennis player was Fred Perry, who won the Wimbledon Championship every year for 3 years, from 1934 to 1936. Since that time, no English player has won the men's championship. Horse racing is another very popular sport in England. There are races every day of the year, and people enjoy making bets on which horse will win. The Derby at Epsom, which continues to be held today, was the first Derby ever, and derbies, races on flat ground for 3-year-old horses, are now held around the world. Other important dates in horse racing are the Grand National in Liverpool in April, one of the most difficult horse races in the world, and Royal Ascot, 5 days of horse racing in Berkshire in June. The Queen always goes to Ascot, so it is an important event in England, and visitors wear their best clothes and hats.
Welcome to Ascot.
Marathon in April. More than 30,000 people run in the London Marathon, which has been held since 1981. The fastest people finish the 42-kilometre run in just over 2 hours. But for many runners, the most important thing is making money for charity. Water sports are popular in England, and many people, especially on the south coast, enjoy sailing. There are good waves for surfing at many of the beaches in the southwest, and canoeing is also popular on England's many rivers and canals. Two of England's most famous sportspeople do a water sport. Steve Redgrave, who won gold medals for rowing at every Olympic Games between 1984 and 2000, and Ellen MacArthur, who broke the world record for sailing around the world alone in the fastest time on the 7th of February 2005. Golf is also a very popular sport for English people. There are many golf courses in England, and every July the Open Championship, one of the 4 biggest tournaments in the world, is held in England or Scotland. Motor racing is also well liked, and many people go to a course called Silverstone in Northamptonshire every year to watch the British Grand Prix. At school, children play football, rugby, netball and cricket, and do athletics in the summer. There are public swimming pools and gyms in most towns, and many people also enjoy cycling and walking. Other outdoor activities like mountaineering, climbing and walking in the hills and mountains are also very popular in England. English people love sport. For some time, they have not won many big events in the sports that first came from their country many years before. But sport continues to be a very important part of life in England.